Alright, here's the yard. It has this water that runs down this way. Got this huge puddle here. Alright, this is where the basin's going. Okay, that is a look at the leach field drain. Okay, but whatever water comes from the backyard will go into these grates. It's got stuff all over it.
Oh, there you go.
It was just a little clogged. All right, we're at the start of our next job, and I'll try to explain what we're going to be doing here. It was going to be a little easier job, and then the engineer kind of changed stuff on us. So he has a lot of puddling in the backyard, and he has a couple houses higher than him back there. Now, I don't know if you can see, but there is a natural swale in this grass. So we haven't worked in this town for a while, so we called the town just to see how far we have to be from the street to put our pop-up. And he said 10 feet, as long as no water goes onto the sidewalk. So we explained to the engineer that there is a natural swale and that all the water goes to the sidewalk now. So he said he wanted to come out and look. So I came out and looked, and he said it was 2 days after a rain and the water was still coming down that swale and going onto the sidewalk. It goes down here and it goes down the sidewalk. This is all from the backyard. See, this is running down. He wants to minimize the amount of water that goes onto the sidewalk, so he is requiring us to put in a leach trench, which will then percolate some of the water into the ground and try to eliminate some of the water that's coming out of the pop-up. So that's what we have to do now. And a leach trench is kind of like a French drain, except it doesn't take water in, it's actually letting water out. And it leaches back into the ground. All right, so I'll show you the backyard. Tom just finished up with this transit, getting all the elevations down, making all those marks on the ground so we can start digging. But this area floods out pretty good. We were here when it rained, so we took a little video. I'll be showing you that. All right, here's the yard. It has this water that runs down this way. Got this huge puddle here. And a lot of it's coming from the neighbor also, but we can't stop that. So you got here. It's coming from underneath the fence. The property's higher. And I'll also show you the drawing that we made up. And that way the plan will make a little more sense to you. But this area over here floods really bad. Then he has some flooding over here. This neighbor over here, it's a hill. So his water comes now on this guy's property and it just fills this whole area up. And then once it fills up, and then it goes under the fence and goes onto that property. So what we're going to do is we're going to be putting catch basins, putting some soil, catch basin here, and then our discharge pipe will be going out to the leach trench that the town engineer is making us put in. And so we'll show you the process of us doing that. What is that?
Minus 18.
Minus 18. Okay, so from the backyard to here, it's 18 inches lower. That's why the water flows down. It wasn't... That's where you want it?
Yeah. Alright.
Right there. This is where the basin's going, and you can see all these roots. I'll try to cut some of them out now. I'm sure I did not get all of them, but it might help a little bit. That's a basin?
You gotta set that transit to 18.
Okay, this is where the basin's going. So this has to go to 18. All right.
Pretty close.
This is a little low for the basin, but we put rock in there, so it's fine. So the more rock, the better. And cutting my roots worked. Go right through those. So I'm just putting the holes in the catch basins. Okay, when we put basins in, we auger a hole and fill it with rock, so then the basin can drain and not hold water. Okay, so it's got to go 2 inches lower than this, right?
Hold it to the end.
Nice. Okay. I'll put it on the ground. Here's a quick update. It's getting pretty dark. There's a thunderstorm right around us. I don't know if it's going to hit us or not, so I thought I'd give you a look at it before we do any more or we get drenched. Here's our one catch basin. Then we go over here. This spot's a little low, so we have a 4-inch grate we're going to put here. Down here, here's our other basin. We're going to lower the dirt around it so all the water goes into this. And then it will continue and we'll have one more 4-inch inlet. And then it's going to go out to the leach trench that we're going to be putting in and to the pop-up. So I'm just getting the sod cut. So what we're going to do here is we're going to cut this sod up. We're going to lower the dirt underneath. And hopefully some of this water, instead of going down the sidewalk, will go through here and then go onto the street.
Does he want to cut it?
Because of the roots?
Maybe.
That's nice and dry. I think I just pick it up. No, okay, it's good. Some good sized roots in here. Tom's putting in a leach trench now. And from our 0 point in the backyard to the end, all the way down there where we're putting a pop-up, we have 18 inches of fall. So plenty of fall to get this water out of the backyard. Going to be used in the backyard. Okay, that is a look at the leach field drain. Tom switched his buckets because that's where the leach trench is going to end, and then we're going to have our solid pipe to a pop-up come out to there. Right to that white line over there. Okay, I'm standing on it. Good. Go ahead. Good? No, more. Okay. All right, we're cutting the fabric out with a trench drain. Here. Yeah. I need a little extra. That's our electric wheelbarrow. We don't use that often, but when we do, it's sure nice.
Right here?
Yeah. Good. We need a concrete buggy that dumps to the side. Good. A little forward. Okay, right there. Go forward, up, I mean. All right, good. Good. Right there is the stone at the bottom of the trench. Now we're getting ready to put our perforated pipe in. And we're going to right there. Wait. Good. Okay, good. All right, so perforated pipe. Holes go on the bottom, letters go up. All right, go ahead. A little more. One more. Okay, good. Good. All right, good. All right, so here's the pop-up. You got the blue pipe is solid. And over here you have the green, which is perforated. And that has stone on the bottom. And then we're going to fill the rest with stone, wrap it, put a little soil on top, and put the sod back on. Even though it's so hot that the sod is starting to turn already. So this is all perforated. This is all the leach trench. So water will go in here and leach down before it gets to the pop-up drain, and then it goes back to blue, solid, under the fence. Okay. Go back this hole. Okay. Okay. This grass is so dry. Good thing we're gonna get rain. All right, we're done for today. It is Saturday afternoon. There is a pop-up emitter. Tomorrow is Sunday and we're supposed to get rain Sunday night, Monday. So we put the sod in, needs rain. Once it gets all wet, it'll be softer and we'll run the compactor over it. Then we'll get all this dirt out of here. But this is how we're gonna leave it. And as you can see, we are not done. We still have to grade the whole backyard, get everything nice. We'll grade everything to the basins, use as much of his dirt as possible, and then at the end we always bring a little bit of our topsoil, and then we will seed it. But this is how we're gonna leave it before the rain. Then we'll be back. So it's Monday morning. Right there?
So over to put them on the trailer, I throw them in the back of the truck.
And then you put dirt in there?
Well, I was going to leave that stuff in the bucket.
Very nice. All right, we got the boards up. It is Monday. It is drizzling right now. And we didn't get as much rain as they said Sunday to Monday morning. So we decided to come down here, get this dirt picked up and get the boards. And so we're just getting this junk out of the backyard. All this extra roots, a little bit of sod. Because we are still supposed to get rain. It's drizzling right now. But it's nice that we're getting Monday morning in. We thought today was going to be a total washout. We are supposed to get more rain tonight into Tuesday. We're gonna leave all that sod and roots in the bucket for the ride home. We don't want to put it on top of the boards. So now we're gonna move some of this dirt around in the back before it starts to rain again. looking pretty good for just being rough graded. So we thought today was going to be a total wash. We thought it was going to rain all day, so it was good we got this done. Then when we come back, I think Wednesday, I think it's supposed to be the next nice day, we'll come back, bring some soil, grade this off nice, and grade all the water to shed into the basins. Looking good. All right, so the rain held off enough that we got our boards up, got all this dirt out of here, and we were able to get the junk out of the back. And we got some of that dirt smeared around that we're using at his soil. And then when we come back, we will bring our own soil, set the transit back up, and then grade this so all the water goes into these inlets and catch basins. We'll leave them a little high for right now. This one's pretty much set. That's where we want that one. That's the lowest point in the yard. And it's a big L. So it goes from here over to here. Okay, Tom's gonna get some soil. So Tom got that compacted, and now we're just lowering the strip of grass by the street. Okay, so what we're doing is we're lowering the middle, tapering the sides. That way when the pop-up comes on and it goes onto the sidewalk, instead of going down the sidewalk, it will come here and hopefully go across the curb and into the street. Nice. All right, so that's all done. Let me see how that is now flat with the sidewalk. So the water should go right into there and over the curb. So we have all the soil graded and going towards the grates and the 2 catch basins. Here's a look at the back before I put the seed down. So I'm gonna put some seed down and some straw. In a couple weeks, this will look good as new. But whatever water comes from the backyard will go into these grates and catch basins and not puddle here anymore. I'm actually seeding by hand, which is actually better for the customer because I always overseed. All right, so we're done. We got that all lowered. So now when the water goes on the sidewalk, if the leach field doesn't soak it up, then it will go there. There's a pop-up. It's been very hot, so the grass is stressed where we put it back. And it will go down a little bit. You can see here in the shade, it looks a little better. Here's a look at the backyard. All seeded and strawed. All right, we just got an inch of rain overnight, so we just decided to come down and take a look. So the water must be going through the back because you can see that the water is just coming out of here and flowing out. Oh, and this is really dry. Usually in the rain, this is soaked. So that's very nice. I haven't checked the back yet. Got to make sure the grates are not covered with the straw. Oh, look, and there's no water over here. That's a good sign. Now this will be full of water for weeks. Once the grass comes up, this will be nice. Got this huge puddle here. And a lot of it's coming from the neighbor also, but we can't stop that. So you got here. Yep. And so there's just one spot that was a little high. There's tree roots here. So Tom just lowered that and the water's going into the grate now. So that's where most of the water is coming from. Right. Whatever is behind that fence. So that should go down in a second. Customer's out here. He said this is all dry. You see the trail going in here. Maybe you can see the water in there. Yes, got stuff all over it. Huh? It's got stuff all over it.
Oh, there you go.
It was just a little clogged. There we go. Once this once this grass comes in, it won't do that. The grass will hold everything back. Nice. That's why we come back. There is a lot of water coming from the neighbor, especially since it stopped raining hours ago, and it's still flowing. So with some of the water that's coming out of the pop-up, some of it is going towards the strip of grass that we lowered, and some of it is making it through the grass over here and then going here, which he still has a little bit of water on the sidewalk. So Tom did mark it and paint. So we're going to come back and we're going to lower this, so any of this water then can go onto this grassy area. We'll lower it pretty good. All right, so we came back. It's the next day, and we're going to lower this strip of grass like we said, and we'll get on that now. We're just going to lift the sod, take some dirt out from underneath like we did the other side. All right, so we got it lowered down. I'll show you that before we put the last piece of sod on. And this is the area we're gonna fix. Okay, that looks good. Get that root out of there. All right, so we got this area dug out a little bit more. I actually brought a piece of sod to put around that, and that will stop any dirt or the straw from going down into this. And now we're gonna seed everything again. And I'm amazed. We were here yesterday. Well, I showed you. And can you see? I don't know if you can see the green, but all the grass is starting to come up. So jobs like this, we always come back to just to make sure everything's pitched correctly. And it was good we did, because this needed just a little tweaking. Now it's going to be perfect. And the water is still coming out from underneath the fence. Put an extra seed on here. Some of the sod's dying, but there is green all through here. You can't see it on camera, so it's not all dead. And this keeps the seed in place until it germinates, so it's going to green up in a couple weeks. Reseeded out here too. So now this is nice and low over here. And you can see my foot goes down. And that should get rid of the rest of the water on the sidewalk. And thanks for watching the video. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.